Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to May 9th. Can you believe it's already May 9th? And another way to look at it is if you are in real estate, whatever your current, closing, and pending, that is your half year. Your half year is basically completed at this point because anything you have written up to this point will close in June. And how about that, right? We're almost to the halfway point of the year, and maybe you have a week left, a week or two, to get in a few closings before the end of June. But essentially, if your goal was 34 and you're at 10, then you need to readjust your goal. Or if you are at 34 and you're at 24 right now, then you need to readjust your goal. So good stuff. Catalyst live webinar. It's May 9th. My voice is a little bit hoarse just due to speaking 17 times last week. And then what's funny is my voice was okay. And then I went to my son's game on Saturday, and they were in a playoff, and I basically yelled my voice right out. So speaking 17 times wasn't bad, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back in the playoff game. So good stuff. Today we're going to cover the daffodil principle, which quite honestly there's a lot of different analogies for this kind of practice. The compound effect is another one. But I want to make sure that we cover this in detail and you see the power of little things over time. So the Catalyst live session, the next one is 2 p.m. on May 23rd. During that session, I'm actually going to go into more depth on the Great Retrace, and then also we're going to talk a little bit about partnering with a charity, which can be very strategic as well as beneficial. Gen Carolina or Gen Charlotte is coming up at the end of this month. Gen Mastermind for clients. Do me a favor, check out gengenmastermind.com if you want to go to Vegas the first week of June. It's going to be awesome. The end of that week is Tony Robbins and Darren Hardy are speaking at the end of that week. So I mean, Floyd Wickman, Craig Proctor, Jake Kinner, Michael Reese, Bob Corcoran, Josh Altman, myself, Ken DeLeon, who is the #1 agent in America. He's on pace to hear this, $1 billion in business this year. $1 billion. Yeah, he's on pace to do $1 billion in business this year. You know, not 100 million, but $1 billion. So Catalyst live session, 3 p.m. on June 13th. And then also we'll do it the very next week on June 20th. So do me a favor, mark your calendars, save the dates. We're doing the 13th and the 20th. And notice that it's 3 p.m. on June 13th, not 2 p.m. So we're doing a little bit later. So anyway, more on that forthcoming. Today we'll just talk about the daffodil principle and the Great Retrace on Facebook. The daffodil principle is just simply this. And by the way, here's the link. You might want to look at this later on today. But it's essentially this little girl wanted to go see these daffodils, and the mom just said, "No, I'm too busy. I've got too many things." And finally, the little girl convinced her mom to go see the daffodils, right? And they get out there, and it is an entire hillside of daffodils. And there's a little sign that says each and every one of these were planted one at a time by this lady. And it's I don't want to steal the thunder of the you know, the music and the reading of the story, but it essentially boils down to little things done on a daily basis add up to big successes, right? And the way to relate to the daffodil principle for your business is that a lot of people talk about being a hunter right? You got to go out and you got to kill it. You got to crush it. You got to just, I mean, just kill your day, right? Oh my God, he killed it today, right? You've heard that. And that's based on the hunter mentality, which is to go out and search for your food. And unfortunately, when you do that, you have to kill something to eat it. And then, of course, the next day, you've got to go out and kill something else. And pretty soon, you've killed everything, right? You have literally killed it. The problem is you starve to death and die. The next option is the farming mentality, right? They've said, oh, don't be a hunter, be a farmer, right? And honestly, that saved our ancestors was the agricultural format, which was, you know, grow plants near you and then harvest them, and you can eat the corn or you can eat the potato or whatever it may be. And the interesting thing about that is that when you harvest it, you kill the plant, right? The ground is still there for you to use, but you have to kill the corn to eat the corn. You have to kill the potato to eat the potato. Now you can take the seeds and plant more, but I believe that there is a third option, and it goes along with the daffodil principle, which is be an orchard, right? Grow an orchard. And when you grow an orchard, you plant trees, you nurture them, you take care of them, you water them, and then when a tree, you know, when an orange tree or an apple tree or a pear tree produces the fruit, you need to harvest them, or it actually hurts the tree. Think about that. You need to get the referrals from people, or it actually hurts them. It hurts their reputation. It hurts whatever it may be. So you need to harvest. But when you harvest, you're not only helping yourself, but you're also helping the tree. You're helping the person that you harvest from. Here's the other thing, is that you can also help a lot of others, because a lot of times when you are harvesting the pears or the orange, you have more than your family could ever eat before they get overripe. So you now have the ability to help others. And what's really cool is that you can take some of the overripe fruit and plant it, and guess what? It turns into more trees and more trees and more trees, and pretty soon you have an orchard. That is the Mayerism business principle for the daffodil principle, which is, listen, nurture an ambassador today, and it will grow into more ambassadors. It will not only grow into referrals, but it will grow into ambassadors, which produces more referrals. So very important thing, most important thing is to start today. That, you know, don't beat yourselves up over the past. Man, I wish I would have been making these calls in the past. But, you know, and then how can we incorporate this into our business, right? And the easiest and fastest way is the Great Retrace. And what I'm hoping and I'm assuming is that all of you have heard this once. Have you heard or seen the Great Retrace? Yes or no? Just put it in the questions box, yes or no. Sharon Alters, you have never seen, oh gosh. Stephen Reeder, Christopher Cousins. Okay, this is crazy. So it looks like 80% of you have. Maggie Painich, the one I'm doing is going to be different than the one you heard. Jackie Pena, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, Eric Soto, I might have done it in the office. And by the way, there's even some new tweaks on it since I did it last week. So the first thing is I want to just, okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is you've heard it but didn't apply it. Let's do 0 to 10. 0, you haven't heard it. 1 to 10, 1 is you've heard it but haven't applied it at all. 10 is you've heard it and you apply it to every single one of your referrals, and you have a Great Retrace spreadsheet started. That would be a 10, right? So where would you put yourself on that scale? All right, so 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 2, 6. 6! I saw 6. Alyssa Moore, hugs. 2, 5, 0. Marisol, 0. Hugs. Love it. Eric Soto, ever the math genius, 1.75. So Tara Carter's at 8.5. That's awesome. Need a spreadsheet besides the CRM. Yep. 4, 5, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2. Okay. This is going to be a very good class today. Tara Carter, I want you to be ready to comment on this, right, about what your, well, you know what, do that before I even get into it. What have been your experiences with implementing this at an 8.5 level? And Michelle, you too, Eichmeyer, yeah. And Tara, you've also had Matt Farrelly help you, which is good. All right, so thoughts on the mentality. Alyssa Moore, you too. You have a 6 on here. Thoughts on putting it into play. So I'm gonna have you guys type up your thoughts and what you have done with it as I explain the format for everyone. So we catch everybody up to speed. Stephanie was referred to me. She was referred to me by Christy. Stephanie is a seller referred by Christy, the referral source. I then think to myself, how did I meet Christy? And it comes very easily. Joyce Lehman connected me to Christy. And then I think to myself with Joyce, how did I meet Joyce? And I think to myself, oh, you know what? Denise referred me to Joyce 7 years ago to sell her townhome in the Northland, right? So that leads me to Denise, and it's like, how did I meet Denise? And I think about it, and I couldn't come up with it. So I actually called her and said, how did we meet? By the way, that is an aha right there, right? You don't remember how you met them? Call them and brainstorm it with them and just go, you know what? How did we meet? Well, in this case, Denise actually Googled the top 25 agents in Kansas City, and I was high on the list, so she called me and said, let's get together, and she was forming a networking group. So she actually called me from Google, from the Business Journal top 25 list. Well, so I'm going to stop the Great Retrace here, but I want you to know I don't have to. If I wanted to keep making calls, I would have Jay on this list. Jay is the one who writes for the Business Journal and compiled the top 25 realtors in the city list, right? Like in Indianapolis, it's Remington Ramsey, right? He's the one that's responsible for the top 200 list. Now, then I would think to myself, how did I get introduced to Jay? It was Jennifer Martin. And then I would think to myself, Jennifer Martin, well, that was Chris Collins. Then I would think to myself, Chris Collins, that's Brad Korn. Then I would think to myself about Brad Korn, it was Todd Welsh. And then I would think to myself, Todd Welsh, it would be Joe Stump, right? And then I would think to myself about Joe Stump, and I'd have to think about it, right? How did I get introduced the first time to Joe? And I think it might be Brad Korn, right? Which is kind of interesting that he would show up twice in there, but that's very rare. All right. So bottom line is you get the gist of it, right? So who has a referral that they've gotten recently, right? And while so who has a referral that closed recently or a new listing that was referred? All right. So I'm gonna read some comments here from people who are implementing it. So my experience has been great. It's a game changer. This is from Tara Carter. Must track it from the beginning or it will get lost the longer the retrace circle gets. Yeah. It felt weird at first to go back to calling the first person who had no idea who was the third or fourth person referred that I was thanking them for. However, use tools learned to get over this fear and just do it no matter what. Send them all a power note once the transaction closes to everyone also above and beyond the phone call. I like it. Michelle, I'm still very new to the business, but I'm constantly referring affiliates to my clients or to new people I meet that may be looking for a refi or a remodel. I am always open for an opportunity to help someone out. My first listing this year came from my doing a referral out to a loan officer. How about that? Not sure if this is what you're looking for, Michael, but as a brand new agent, this is my major focus. So I hope as I add value to people, they will remember me down the road. Of course they will. Okay. Yeah, some of you are already doing this. Yeah, okay, good stuff. All right, now, so I could tell you this, but I'm actually going to go through these quickly, and I'm going to just highlight certain things. How far do you go? You go all the way. Like, I have clients who have gone down 22 people deep. 22 people deep. And all of you could probably go 10 with certain people in your life, like a spouse probably goes back 10 people to where you met them, right? Best friend, same way. Somebody you met at a networking function today or tomorrow or this week probably goes back 10 or 12 people. So good question. Yeah, okay. So in this case, I'm going back 4. No other reason than that's all I have time to kind of, and you can see everything that I do in the 4. So I call Stephanie on day 0. So what day, you know, is it a good idea to call your seller on day 0? And I know some of you are not realtors, but it doesn't matter, right? There's going to be a date, like for Alyssa Moore, it would simply just be somebody opens a policy with her, right? Or something happens with someone, right? I mean, could you imagine Alyssa Moore, who is an insurance agent in St. Louis, calling you, Meredith, and saying, Meredith, I didn't know or not, but what's interesting here is that you referred me to Dave, who referred me to Cindy, and I just wanted to let you know that Cindy was on a little fender bender today, and you know, we're taking care of her. Everything's going to be good. It was very, very simple, but I just thought you might want to know that you know, Cindy was in the accident, and it was referral from Dave, who you know very well, right? Or something like that, right? So it's one of those where there's a lot of different instances. The referral is a very easy retrace, right? And I'm going to show you a really simple way to do that here in a second too. All right, so I call Stephanie, and essentially it's day 0, right? So you want to call your clients the moment they make a big decision with you. If you're a financial planner, the first trade or the first series of trades or when their trades go live is a big deal, right? You don't think it is, but it is. And then on the real estate side, the day, there's kind of some big milestones, right? The day they go on the market, well, the day they sign with you is a big deal. The day they go on the market, the day they get a contract, and the day they close, right? So there's milestones. If I'm a contractor, it's the day they hire me, it's the day we finish phase 1, the day we finish phase 2, and you know, so on and so forth. So I call Stephanie on day 0, and I just simply let her know, hey, you're going to start having showings. Run your showing system checklist and just make sure every showing happens, right? And she goes, okay. And then I say, Stephanie, the first thing is I want you to know that I appreciate you, right? And I'm going to express my appreciation to her. And then I ask Stephanie, it's day 0, I ask her, how are you feeling? She's going to tell me how she's feeling. And no matter, now on day 0, you might think a seller might be excited, but they're not. They're tired, they're exhausted, they're overwhelmed, they're nostalgic, they're sad, they're nervous, anxious, right? So they're going to come back with one of those words. Hopeful is about as positive as I've ever heard. And I will just say, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to get through this, together, right? So it's one of those where anytime somebody is embarking in a new relationship, we need to have calls set up or touch points set up to let them know they made a good decision, right? When I say we're going to get through this together, she knows she's in it, not alone. She's not alone. We're in it together, right? And she goes, oh, you know, I sure hope so. Your team's been great. And it's like, hey, Stephanie, my team and I, we've done over 100 things to prepare your home for the market. We're getting ready to send it out to places on the internet. If I sent you a link for what your house looks like on the internet, would you review that and get back to me? Right? She says yes. And then I say, hey, listen, there may be 1, 2, or 3 changes that need to be made. If they need to be made, they need to be made now. If we got it to you, could you turn it immediately? Yes. Awesome. Here's the other thing is, Stephanie, I know you know 2,500 friends on Facebook, and I know you know 10,000 followers on Twitter. If I give you a blurb for Facebook and Twitter, would you put it on Facebook and Twitter? And she says yes, right? And then I say, all right, and also, do you use Gmail or Outlook or what? I use Gmail. Great. Are you familiar with how to use the BCC? Yes, I am. So if I gave you the 3 or 4 sentences that you helped us write about your house with a link to the listing and our email, so they wouldn't bother you, they could contact us if they had any questions, would you forward that out to every single person you know, just putting their email in the BCC? Yes, I would do that. Awesome. Stephanie, also, before I let you go, I'm getting ready to call Christy. Is there any message that you want me to deliver to her? No, everything's good. I'm good. I appreciate the call, Michael. Awesome. Stephanie, have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Click. All right, that is the Stephanie call. So any ahas from the Stephanie call? Alyssa Moore had another great comment about the Great Retrace. It's super helpful when in a one-on-one meeting with a key referral partner uh, to remind them of the great relationships you've made and the business you've closed because of the retrace. Doing retraces in the face-to-face meetings are very powerful for building new referrals. Yep. Yeah, so Anthony Armstrong says one of the ahas I got from what you said is getting her on board to help with the marketing of her home and spreading the word. Absolutely. Right? And one powerful thing to remember there is just in a real estate game is that she's exhausted, right? She said exhausted. And I said, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to get through this together. And you have to realize that if you have somebody that's hyper excited or anxious or nervous, which in the real estate game we can definitely see a lot of, right, is you want to give them something to do. Or, Alyssa, if you're getting a call from somebody who's just been in an accident, give them something to do, right? Like write something down or call someone or, you know, make sure of something, right? Give them something to do and it will take their mind off the overwhelm or the exhaustion. Other ahas from Stephanie Cole. Excuse me. Love the idea of sending to social media and their email contacts. Yep, absolutely. All right, now Christy, I'm going to call Christy. Remember, she's the referral source, so you have to. It's day 0. This is a good call. This is a necessary call. So I call Christy and I say, hey, Christy, Stephanie's house is on the market, and she says, oh, thank you for taking care of my friend. And it's like, oh, you know what, Christy, before I even get to anything else, I have to say thank you. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to work with Stephanie and her family. We've really enjoyed getting to know her and her family and helping her get to the next place. We're really, really excited about that. We're really glad and honored that you would give us that opportunity. Thank you so much. And what does she say? Yeah, thank you for taking care of my friend. Awesome. And here's the thing, is Christy, we've done over 100 things to prepare her home for the market, getting ready to send it out to over 1 million faces and places. If I send the link for what this house looks like on the market, would you click the link and give me your advice on how it looks? Absolutely. Awesome. Here's the other thing is I know you know 2,500 friends on Facebook, and I know you have 5,500 followers on Twitter. If I gave you a little blurb with our email and a link to Stephanie's house that you could post to Facebook and Twitter, would you post that in Facebook and Twitter if all you had to do was copy and paste? Yes, I would love to do that. Awesome, Christy, I appreciate that. The other thing is you know quite a few people. You know quite a few people in the Overland Park and Olathe area. If I sent you the 3 or 4 sentences that Stephanie helped us write about her property with a link to her listing and our email, so they would email us, not bother you, could I send those 3 or 4 sentences out that you could forward to everybody you know in the Overland Park and Olathe area? Yes, that sounds great. Here's the other thing, Christy. I just got off the phone with Stephanie, and I asked her how she was feeling, and she said, exhausted. Christy, it's day 0, and she's exhausted. Can you do me a favor? Can you call Steph and just cheer her up, just pep her up a little bit? Let her know that we're all going to get through this together. She chose the services of a top producer because we solved this problem lots of times. We've solved it over 1,000 times, and we're going to solve it for her. And we're going to get her and Scott reconnected at the next home. Can you just kind of pep her up? Would you make that call for me? I'd love to. Awesome. Christy, one more thing before I let you go is I'm going to call Joyce, who connected us. Is there any message that you want me to give to Joyce? Oh my God, yes, have her call me. Christy, I will for sure have her call you, and just know that I appreciate you. Throughout this process with Stephanie, as you already know, we'll be calling you and touching base when we get it under contract, when we get it closed, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to let you know that we'll be calling you. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to call. We're here to help. Thank you. Click. All right, Christy call. Ahas, thoughts, so on and so forth. Dory Santiago says it was key with the seller that you are both on the same side of the table, right? It's not animosity at all. It's more teamwork. We're on the same team. Yeah, a big part of this is the care, right? Somebody who asked Stephanie, how are you feeling, is someone who cares. But please notice also that I say, how are you feeling? I get the answer. And not only am I cheering Stephanie up, but Christy is also going to call and cheer Stephanie up. So Claire Autry noticed that. And that's exactly what we do. We do care. And I will also tell you that Stephanie no longer feels alone. She knows there's people into it, right? Sharon Alters also said, and you've brought the referral source in as part of the team by asking her opinion and asking for her help to spread the word. Absolutely. So I've made 2 calls, but the exposure is in the 20s of thousands, right? 20,000 plus. That's a good exchange of time and effort, right? All right, so I do the Joyce call. So be careful here, right? I call Joyce and I say, hey Joyce, Stephanie's house is on the market. What do you think she says? Who's Stephanie? Absolutely. They always say, I don't know Stephanie, who's Stephanie? Or Stephanie who? I always answer the same way. Thank you for asking because you played a part in this. Thank you for asking because you played a part in this. They always say, how? Well, do you remember connecting me to Christy at that networking function a few years ago? Yeah, how's she doing? Yeah, Christy's great. But Christy referred me to her friend Stephanie. So the first reason for my call is to express my appreciation. If you had not connected me to Christy, I would have never been referred to her friend Stephanie. We would have never had the opportunity to help this family. So thank you. She replies, wow, or thank you, or that's awesome. Joyce, That is awesome. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your help and your connection. And here's the thing is, we've done over 100 things pros from the market. We're going to send it to 1 million faces and places on the internet. If I sent you the link for what our house looks like on the internet, would you review it? Yes, I would. If I sent you a little blurb that you could put on Facebook and Twitter with a link to the listing and my email so they wouldn't bother you, would you post this on Facebook and Twitter? Yes, I would. And also, Joyce, I know this isn't the house for you, but it might be for someone you know. If I sent you 3 or 4 sentences that you could forward out to your friends and family members in Overland Park and Olathe, would you get that out to them? Yes, I would. Awesome. Joyce, I appreciate that. And hey, I just got off the phone with Christy, and she said she wants you to call her. Literally, I just got off the phone with her. She's in a great mood. Be a great day to call. You guys need to reconnect. Why don't you call her now? And then by the end of the day, look for the link to the listings, and also look for the blurb for Facebook and Twitter, and the 3 or 4 sentences that Stephanie helped us write about her house for your friends and family out there who might want a competitive advantage on seeing a house first, because we are in a multiple offer situation in this market. So also, before I let you go, Joyce, is I'm getting ready to call Denise, who referred me to you a while back. Is there any message that you want me to deliver to Denise? No? Oh, you know what? Actually, it's been about 9 months since we talked. Why don't you have her reach out to me? Okay, awesome. Would you rather have her email or call? Have her call me. Perfect. Joyce, I appreciate you more than you know. Call Christy now. Look for the link. And then I'm going to call Denise now, and I'll make sure that she reaches out to you. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Talk to you soon. Click. So the Joyce call. Ahas. Or thoughts, or questions, or suggestions. This is the time to ask. So Dustin says, mention the seller, not the referral source. So she asked. That's right. That's right. Stephanie's house is on the market. That's right. Love the additional touch to another person to show your work ethic. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going deeper. I'm more thorough, right? Dustin Signature says, express gratitude. Yeah, isn't appreciation like the essence of these calls? And that is the power. That is truly the power to this, which I'll give you an example here in a second. Connecting people and asking about what thoughts you can convey keeps you in the conversations. People love to be remembered. Dan League said that. I like how you're becoming the facilitator to building the relationship between the two. You are making their bond stronger, and they will talk highly about you and probably be more referrals. Yes. What do you do when the buyer did not have a good experience? Okay, we haven't got there yet. The whole process exhibits where your heart is and that you are totally professional. Yep, and you're working, right? And yeah, some people would call this work. So now I'm going to call Denise. So I called Denise, and please don't stop me if you've heard this before. So I called Denise. I say, hey Denise, Stephanie's house on the market. What does she say? Who's Stephanie? I always say, thank you for asking because you played a part in this. She always says, they always say, how? Well, thank you for asking because you referred me to Joyce 7 years ago to sell her toenail. Yeah, Joyce, oh, she didn't sell this. No. The market at the time wasn't right. But Joyce connected me to Christy, who referred me to Stephanie. So the first reason for my call is to express my appreciation. I just want to say thank you so much for referring me to Joyce, because without doing that, I would have never met Christy. And without you referring me to Joyce, who connected me to Christy, I would have never had this referral, never had this opportunity for this business, and never had the opportunity to help this family. So thank you. Denise says, wow, or you're welcome, or that's awesome, or what database are you using to track this, or you have a great memory, right? So Denise, I appreciate that, and you know, thank you. I'm glad you're a part of this, and I want you to know that We've done over 100 things to prepare Stephanie's house for the market, and we're getting ready to send it out to 1 million faces and places on the internet. I know this isn't the house for you, but if I sent you the link for what it looks like on the internet, it might work for someone that you know, right? So if I sent you that link, would you mind reviewing that? No, send it over. That'd be great. Awesome. And I know you know a lot of people over in Park and Olathe. If I just wrote 2 or 3 sentences for you that you could forward out to the people you know in Overland Park and Olathe, and it will also have my email in it, so they wouldn't bother you. They'd just reach out to me if they had questions. Could you forward that out to the people that you know? Absolutely. And I know you're not on Twitter, but you're on Facebook. If I just sent you something that you could copy and paste on Facebook, would you mind me sending that over to you? No? Go ahead. That's awesome. Here's the other thing is, Denise, when's the last time you talked to Joyce? Well, it's been like 9 months. Well, I just talked to Joyce. She's in a great mood, and actually she said she wanted me to have you reach out to her, preferably by phone. Here's her phone number. Give her a call. And then also, do you know Christy Dreiling? Do you know Christy D? I don't know Christy. Oh my gosh, let me do this. You're 2 powerful women in the same city. You should know each other. I'll do a 3-way email for you. I'll introduce you to Christy. I'll introduce Christy to you, and then you guys take it from there. If it's a love connection, you guys can do some business together, whatever it may be, then good. If not, that's okay too. But would it be okay if I did that email for you, Denise? Yes, that'd be great. I appreciate you connecting me. That's awesome. Denise, I appreciate you. Remember, give Joyce a call. Look for the 3-way email from me by the end of the day, and then also look for a link to that listing by tomorrow, and that way you can post it out on Facebook and send it to your friends and give them a competitive advantage in today's market. Thank you so much for everything you do. I appreciate you, and I'll be updating you throughout the process as we get a contract and go to closing. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye. That is the Denise call, and that is a 4-call Great Retrace, and many of the Great Retraces these days are much longer than 4 people. So what have we learned so far? What have you learned so far? Each person will feel good to know that their referrals go deeper than just the 1 or 2 names they sent to you. That is a big deal. Absolutely. What else? That was from Anthony Armstrong. What other big ahas did you have? What a great aha, which we basically use the same script, and it is easy and trackable. So Claire, I want you to know on that, and Claire, I love your participation, by the way. You're making this interactive and valuable for you, and that's what winners do, and I appreciate that, right? Another key thing here is it is very, very trackable and should be tracked, but the power in the tracking is that if you want your database to perform better, if you want anybody, why do they keep so many stats in baseball, right? Why do they keep so many stats in baseball? Well, it's because they want to compare the performance of each other. Well, here's the thing. Do you want your database to perform better when it comes to introductions, referrals, and connections, right? Do you want them to perform better? Do you want them to do that more? Then we need to do 2 things. We need to track the introductions, connections, and referrals they're sending us, and we need to communicate with them in a very nice way that we are tracking the introductions, connections, and referrals, right? So they know we're tracking, and somebody's keeping track, and that it must be important in my world to get introduced, to get connected, and to get referred. So do you think I am beating off connections. I am fighting off, like my biggest complaint right now, not complaint, frustration, might be I have too many great people to follow up with. And I want you, and listen, it didn't start like yesterday, right? It started like the daffodil principle. I nurtured 1 daffodil, and that turned into 2, and that turned into 22, right? So I want you to know that you're like, oh man, I wish I would have been doing this for 20 years. Well, here's the deal. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. your orchard growers, right? Your growers, then plant your tree today. The daffodil principle rebuilds itself and has compound interest. That's right. I've seen it before. I just need to do this. That's right. Yeah, then I can reach so many more than 10 in a retrace. That's right. A hunter mentality starts at a 0 every day. What if we started with 100 ambassadors on the street talking about us every day? Boom. Boom, Dustin Sickinger. People like to be valued, and we are here to do that. Amen. Amen. Let's see. Keep going. To grow the team as a whole in performance and relationships. That's right. Love how you tied it to the daffodil principle. Thank you. That was Sherry Mayer's idea. I have to give her full credit. Just short of transcribing what you said for each call, is it documented anywhere that I can take and tweak on my own? Maya, the answer at surface level is no. And I think here's the gist, right? Is that you just heard me 15, actually I abbreviated the everything, right? Because we're on a time limit on this call. But I want you to know the gist is this, is that even back 15,000 calls ago, like, 14 to 17 years ago, when I first discovered and started building the Great Retrace, I was horrible at delivering these scripts. I was horrible. I'm self-admitted that I was not good, but I still got referrals doing this, and I'll tell you why. One is because the trigger was a referral. So the word referral has to be mentioned in the call. And what's interesting is no matter who I talk to in the area has a residual referral feel, right? Even though they might be 10 back, they were part of this referral. So it's kind of like they were referring me. So that's the first thing. The second thing, the second reason I got referrals is because my spirit is appreciation. You see, appreciation is the most powerful tool of influence. Appreciation. It gets people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. It's their idea to do it versus scarcity, social proof, and some of these other things. Influence is or appreciation is a very, very powerful tool of influence. I'll give you an example real quick, and this is kind of a sidelight to today's conversation, but it's like, how many of you have ever done something for someone that was above and beyond? Like you went out of your way, or like it wasn't really like something you were good at or could do, but you did it for them anyway, right? Just to really, really help them out. And the person you did it for didn't even notice it, didn't even acknowledge it, and didn't even appreciate what you did. How many of you have ever had that experience? Yeah. So here's the question, right? Is how likely are you to do something for that person? Ooh, there's some anger out there. I like that. Not at all in all caps, right? Not as likely. Not happening. No way. Not likely. Okay. So let's flip it over, ladies and gentlemen. Catalyst. You are a catalyst, right? Whether you like it or not, you are a catalyst. You are making things happen whether you like it or not. You're a catalyst. That's why we call this catalyst. So here's the thing. Have you ever done something for someone that was really just who you are? Or you thought it was just part of your job, or it's just part of a natural process of being you. And yet the other person was so genuinely and sincerely appreciative. They appreciated it so much and you knew it because they told you so. Have you done that? Have you ever had that experience? How likely are you to do something for that person, the appreciative person? Yes, all caps. Yes, all caps. Absolutely. Yes, even to the point of embarrassing myself, they were so appreciative. Absolutely. Very likely because, yes, it comes back 100-fold. So what's the point, right? What's the point? The point is be the appreciative person, and people will run through brick walls for you. Or at the very least, they'll post on Facebook, Twitter, and send it out to their friends and more, right? So be the appreciative person. Here's an example of the Great Retrace on Facebook. It's the same, right? Hey, dude, just wanted to say thank you. James Schneider referred me a great seller today, and if you remember correctly, you connected me to Christina Larson, who introduced me to James Schneider at Networking Function. So without you connecting me to Christina, I would have never met James, and as a result, I would have never had the opportunity to help this family. Thank you. You the man. You the man. All right. So that's good stuff, right? You could do that. You could do that today. You could do that with an introduction, connection, or referral today. You could do it tomorrow if you met someone at a networking function. You could trace it back to how you met that person today at a networking function. You could do this on Facebook and just say thanks. Thanks for the introductions, connections, and referrals, right? All right. There are 5. What the heck? What? There are 5. That just drives me batty. Numbers really drive me batty. All right, there are 5 triggers for a retrace for a seller. Now, here's the thing: is if you're in some other industry, you tell me how many triggers there are. You know, I don't do insurance. How many triggers are there, right? And by the way, it'd be great to have an insurance agent that actually calls me, wouldn't it? I mean, think about that. Wouldn't it be great, like, you know, with all the residuals you're getting off me, like if you just called me? You know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there. By the way, Claire is saying that her insurance agent calls her occasionally. So there are insurance agents on this from Florida, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, California, Arizona. All right, so 5 triggers for a retrace. Every referral triggers a retrace. When I get a referral, it triggers a voicemail retrace or a Facebook retrace. I'll call, but I'm really looking to slide dial. Every exclusive right to sell, and just if you want to read that, is when the referral says they're going to work with me, triggers a retrace. Every day 0 triggers a retrace, right? That's a big deal, the day it goes on the market, and that's the one I just did for you. It's the most complex, it's the longest. I'm actually asking for them to do something, right? And then every contract triggers a retrace, and then every closing triggers a retrace. And I want you realtors to see, and mortgage professionals to see, 2008 to 2012, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, right? And this is number maybe 5, right? That's the closing. But I want you to notice that in the last 2 or 3 years, it's like referral, exclusive right to sell, day 0, sold in 24 hours, 36 hours, whatever, 72 hours, right? So then I'm calling them all back within 72 hours saying, hey, congratulations, our marketing worked. Good work, right? And then closing happens, right? And I call all of them. Now, so do you see what this would do for the people that I'm calling, right? It triggers curiosity. It triggers, first of all, it says you're a success, right? You're selling homes really, really quickly. They might ask something like, wow, sounds like the market is really heating up, to which my answer is, if it were hot, how would that affect you, right? So you're going to get possible referrals just simply by doing the Great Retrace. I mean, possible me's. We call those me's. We love me calls. Hey, me, that's me, right? I want to sell. I want to invest. I want to buy, right? All right, Q&A. We are 10 till. So, all right, so what's an aha that you got from today's catalyst? What will help you be more of a catalyst, right? Don't be a hunter, don't be a farmer, be a grower, right? Be a be an arborist. Is that right? Is that what that's called? A tree person? Is that an arborist? I'm going to have to look that up. Appreciation is the most powerful tool of influence. It's the funnest to deliver. It's so much funner than scarcity, right? Limited availability, 16 seats remain, right? Blah, blah, blah. You know, the other one is contrast. Hey, listen, it's $4.97, but if you sign up today, it's $1.97. Trust me, I use all these, right? But the fact of the matter is, people sign up for my stuff typically out of appreciation or appreciation for my generosity, right? Tracking retrace more visually and also doing retrace on social media was very powerful. Awesome. Go deeper on the milestones for the retrace and the marketing question. Absolutely. Sharon Alters just said yes. Okay, Sharon, what did you say yes? No, I said what did you learn, not did you learn, right? What did you learn today? Start today and look at the things that need to be done on a daily basis, right? Build, you know, the best time to plant a tree was 12 years ago, 10 years ago. And the second best time is today. Same thing with a relationship. The best time to build a relationship was 10 years ago. Second best time is today. So Dustin says, not really totally covered today, but AHA was making the appreciation more personal, powerful, and impactful. Go deeper with appreciation. Become better. And these are my words, Dustin, but yeah, expressing appreciation is an art form we should all master. We should all master the art form of expressing appreciation. And I will tell you that 5 appreciations in the morning. I appreciate coffee. I appreciate my wife. I appreciate Max. I appreciate, you know, water. I appreciate, will help you develop your articulation of appreciation. I remember to take really good notes to trace the connections correctly. That's right, Michelle Eichmer. I learned the power of tracking people all the way back to when I can't track them anymore, and then reaching out to those people and letting them know how much I appreciate them. And another big thing is if you don't know how you were connected to someone, reach out to them and brainstorm with them. How did we meet, right? Was it Jamie? Was it Cindy? You know, I don't remember that period of college very well, right? Because it was kind of like a blur. I won't tell you why, but it was. Okay, maybe that's TMI. All right. What's your best suggestion to create a tracking system? Microsoft Excel, period. You're going to hear me say that a cajillion times because Microsoft Excel uploads to everything. And it's easy to see. You can reorder it, you can cut it, you can add a column in half a second. It's just so much more robust than even a CRM, right? How do we master the appreciation and be impactful? Daily gratitude list, yeah. And cannot list the same thing each day. That's the game I play, Claire Autry. I try to appreciate something different every day, but I have to tell you that I appreciate coffee. Comes up a lot because I do this like at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. Tara Carter, yes, the written whiteboard is a phenomenal way to track referrals, right? But I wouldn't keep my retrace up on a board. I write it out on a board sometimes just to kind of jog my memory, but I will then put it into an Excel sheet that says referral source 1, referral source 2, referral source 3, referral source 4, referral source 5, referral source 6, and so on and so forth. All right, one more question, and then we are going to call it the greatest catalyst session in the history of the world, part May 9th. Some of you did not talk or type the entire time. And I'm wondering, how is that possible, right? Like 3% of you. And it's just like, are you there? Are you there? And you're like, yeah, I know you know the great, but did you see I dropped in a couple nuggets in the Great Retrace that you hadn't even heard yet? Yep, I did that for you. All right, Every day zero. That's right. Every day, day zero. Matt Forelli, dude. So I woke you up. I shook the bear. Watch out. Forelli's in the house. Talk about a guy who teaches this and lives it, right? Each day, day zero. That's one of the principles of the generosity generation. And each day, day zero, on a great opportunity for your referral to help you. That's right. Amber says, you know what, I'm writing a lot of notes in my book. Yeah. Doug Camp, there you go. He's saying I was furiously taking notes. So that's awesome. Dory Santiago says, I'm driving and I ran off the road at your last comment. No, I'm just kidding. She said that I'm driving and this was great. And Dory Santiago has gotten a referral from our community. Yay. I hope that worked out for you. Tara Carter says, haha. I'm here and this is a great reminder refresher from IBC Orlando. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, Jennifer, it's more than that though, right? I tweaked a couple things there. I hope you caught them, right? I'm writing notes so fast I barely keep up. Good stuff, man. Wyatt Shanks, that's awesome. Yeah, calling Matt out. His last 33 deals came from a referral. I'm appreciative of you both. Tara Carter, I love that. Tara, you actually bring up a philosophy called it's easy to champion a champion. You just championed Matt, which makes it easy for all of the rest of us to champion you, right? Because we know that if we do a good job with you and champion you, then you're likely to reciprocate because you have just shown that with Matt. So guess what? It's easy to champion a champion. So when you champion others, others are freed and inspired to champion you because they know that it's likely that you'll reciprocate and champion them because you've already been an example of that. You've been a catalyst of championing. I have a referral for Catalyst Coaching. How do I get them connected? So that's a great question. Actually, we've gotten more referrals this month, April. It's now May, sorry, but I feel like it's April in some ways. I feel like it's June in other ways. But the way to send a referral is simply to send an email to support@joingengen.com. It's on the screen right now, support, S-U-P-P-O-R-T, at joingengen.com. And we will take care of them in a big, big way. Laura, good. Pizzolongo, Pizzolongo. I love that, Laura. I cannot help but think of pizza when I see your name. I just want you to know that. And when I say this, I love pizza. I had pizza yesterday, and I had pizza today. I'm just throwing it out there. All right. Taking notes also, such a wonderful added layers to what you've slowly been implementing. Yeah, we've slowly been implementing the past year. Yep. Michael, I just closed a sale, had both sides from your Facebook networking post. Timeline, 5 weeks. I can't say thank you enough. That's awesome. Jennifer, good stuff. Both sides. Hey, Jennifer, no referral fee necessary. Just stay in Catalyst forever. I love it. All right, guys, you're rocking it. You're rolling it. And just know how much I appreciate my Catalyst crew. I call you my Catalyst Club crew. And you are Catalyst, whether you like it or not. You are making a huge difference. It might as well be a positive one. And I will tell you that appreciation is part of the equation for success in the generosity generation. It is simply generosity plus appreciation equals prosperity. Take the prosperity you have, help another with generosity, then appreciate the reciprocation that comes back, and train and teach the people you know that referrals are the finest form of reciprocation. That will lead to a more profitable business, which leads to more prosperity so you can do it all over again. I appreciate you. I love you. You rock. Make it happen. I'll see you in 2 weeks on the next Catalyst Club call on the webinar. You rock. Thanks, guys.